Regeneration Radio.
Come now, no better day, no better day. Do it today, do it today. No, no delay, no, no delay. Put in the work, I let the pay.
Hi Kalia, pleasure to meet you. So today with us we have reggae artist from Jamaica, Kalia. My name is Mirsad, aka Jatut, editor of the radio Regeneratia. And welcome to our virtual space.
Thank you, thank you.
So, Kalia, dancehall artist from Jamaica, a rising star, right? We already
Yes. Reggae dancehall, yeah.
Yeah, we already have one thing in common, and that's Arabic name. But mine is not so blissful as yours. It means ambush. Yeah.
Well, that could be seen as a good thing
It's a good
in
thing.
some ways.
Yeah.
In some ways.
I'm glad someone says that way.
Yeah.
The people from Montenegro and the Balkans in general, they would like to know more about Kalia, about your background. There's not much on the web. I was exploring, and I'm a guy that really likes to know with who he's talking about. So you came from Westmoreland, from the rural part of the Jamaica, right? And you moved to the England. So what?
Yeah, so I moved when I was about 6 to London, and so I grew up in London, but every summer holidays we would always be back in Jamaica, and living in London, it's very go on.
Why did you move from the Jamaica to England and then return back?
Yeah, so migration, of course. I went with my mom. I was young. I didn't have a choice. But many people from Jamaica end up migrating to the UK, to America. It's just what happens. But I moved back because I met Tony Kelly, and he wanted me to be the first side act to his label Kalicious. And initially, I was supposed to come for 6 months and record music, and then return home to London. But things just spiraled and just decided to stay.
Yeah, you were recommended by Shaggy, right? You first met Shaggy, and then he introduced you to Kelly, right?
Yeah. So I met Shaggy just out and about, and I built up the courage to approach him and say, can I send you some music? I was very afraid, and he sent me an email address. I thought this would be fake, but it was real. And so when I sent him the music, the next day he replied saying, I know someone who's going to bring your sound out because you sound amazing, but you just need that little extra something. And he gave me the link to Tony Kelly.
That's a great story. So Shaggy is very approachable, even he is such a famous star as himself.
Yeah. And every time I think about it after, big up Shaggy, because so many people, they probably wouldn't even listen to the email in the first place, or maybe they listen and not reply. But the fact that he even gave me the email in the first place, so big respect to Shaggy for that.
Yeah, but even before that, what inspired you to go with dancehall? You felt that vibe, you like the energy of that new kind of music. Is that and when did you know that music is going to be your destiny, so to say?
Dancehall and reggae has been my home, I mean, being born in Jamaica, that's what you hear for a majority of your life. And I've always wanted to do music. I've grown up just knowing that I wanted to be on stage. As a child, I don't remember ever wanting to do anything else other than to perform. And so when I did start recording music at about 15, I was doing more, R&B kind of thing, because I was into that kind of music at the time, but it just didn't feel
right.
Yeah. So, but now I've found the space that I belong in, which is reggae and dancehall. So,
are you going to experiment with other subgenres of the reggae, like roots and conscious vibes, and what else is there?
Yeah, and definitely, and even outside of reggae, we've experimented with a lot of music, but they're just not out as yet, or just out at all. But we've done some dance, some EDM stuff, because I just love music all around anyway. So it's in time you may hear some more different kind of things from Kalia, but yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. Yeah, but dancehall has lots of inputs from different different cultural inputs in terms of it requires not just the voice and everything, but it also requires the look. I think it's the most demanding genre in reggae compared to the other genres. So how do you feel about that? Are the publishing houses demanding in terms of how artists need to look and what kind of the vibe they need to sing? Are there some?
For me, I have no pressure because I've been blessed, I suppose, to be able to just create how I want to, how I feel to look, how I want to look, to how I'm just me, and
That's great.
people like it, I suppose. But no, I don't have anybody telling me look like this, do this. It's just I've been able to just be myself and put out the positive music that I want to.
I'm really happy to hear that, really, because what I've noticed, and the guys from my team as well, is that female female artists are being like suppressed, especially in the music events. I mean, music festivals, and majority are the
Mm-hmm.
male singers, and
Mm-hmm.
we're trying. Do you feel that kind of pressure? I mean, when the about the music festivals, is it like are they really going for the male artists more than the females? And how is the whole feeling about the being a female artist in reggae music?
Yeah, I hear definitely what you're saying. There's been times where you see an event or a show or a festival, and you look at the 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 lineup,
Hmm.
and sometimes there's not one woman, and it's so strange because there are lots of female artists that are doing great things that can perform, and when you do see a lineup that has, let's say, all females or something like that, it's like people are doing something for us,
Hmm.
you know, in a kind of how do I explain it? I'm just trying to say
Hmm.
that we as female artists, we're just as worthy of the stage. So definitely I want to see more festivals, more promoters
More balance,
booking. Yeah, more balance, exactly.
the way it should be.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be an all female lineup for it to have females on it, and it doesn't have to be a female centered event. It can just be, you know what, this artist is good and this artist is good, and she just happens to be a woman and he just happens to be a man, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. But which female artist inspired you at the beginning of your career? Who were your like look-alike models, so to say?
I would say growing up, Rihanna,
Mm,
Beyonce, Lady Saw,
mhm.
Tanya Stevens, yeah, those female artists. And of course, Destiny's Child, Sierra. As I said, I was listening to a lot of R&B and pop music at the time, so I have a lot of influences coming from those kind of genres as well. But I really just enjoy music all around. I never worshipped one person or had like one person that I'm like, this is it, and I want to model myself from that. I just loved music, doesn't matter about the artist, doesn't matter about the genre. I just love music. So my influences, I would say, has been a melting pot of just everything.
That's great. That really is great. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's actually the only right answer you could give. And how does it feel um, about dancehall music in England, in the UK, and in Jamaica? The artists there and the environment and and the capability of being developed as a dancehall artist in England and in Jamaica? Is that one of the main reasons why you moved from England to Jamaica?
Well, no, the main reason is because I was working with Tony, and obviously his studio is here,
Yeah.
and it just made sense to just record here. But I think that because I never really ventured into reggae and dancehall too much while I was in the UK, I can't really speak on the differences. But I feel that if you do live in Jamaica, then you have more of an understanding of the culture because you're living in it every single day. So you can reach the culture more to, I suppose, get inspiration. So I would say that's the main differences. I couldn't compare it to the UK because I never really had that experience there to say.
Yeah. You grew up as an artist in Jamaica, actually, while more there. Yeah. Okay. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yesterday was released your collaboration with Ray Island. When I played that song, I didn't even read who the collaboration artist is. But when I heard his voice, I thought, okay, this is Stephen Marley. It was so, at least for me. Maybe
everybody's saying that.
Yeah.
No, you're not the only one. You aren't the only one. And but yeah, he does have that tone to his voice, and it's getting really good response so far. So I'm really happy about that. The video is out as well, and so we're just gonna push through with it. It's exciting times. I haven't put out any music for a while now, several months. So. This is, people have been looking for new music, and I think that they're happy with what we've produced.
Yeah.
You set my soul on fire.
I sing a melody to take me home.
You are my only desire. Spreading round like wildfire.
Music takes me to another zone.
Reggae music takes you higher and higher and higher and higher.
When my heart puncture and I go under, I'm in the gutter in a dark corner. I use the rhythm in the horn section to heal my aura when I need tuning. Tell me, have you ever been in need of salvation? Tell me, have you ever seen real restoration?
You set my soul on fire.
I sing a melody to take me home.
You are my only desire. Spreading round like wildfire.
Music take me to another zone.
Let the bass take you higher and higher and higher and higher.
When the bass hits ya, yeah, you feel better. Make good vibe enter. No more stress for ya. Just close your eyes for a new horizon. Life just get better. You hear that guitar? Tell me, have you ever been in need of sedation? Tell me, have you ever felt real sonic sensation?
You set my soul on fire.
I sing a melody to take me home.
You are my only desire. Spreading round like wildfire.
Music take me to another zone.
Reggae music takes you higher and higher and higher and higher. Yes, you set the pace with such love and grace. You don't bring disgrace. Keep that smiling face. Oh, lonely darkest night, you're my firelight. You're like fireflies. You're that perfect light. With your melody, all these joy you bring, all your flavoring, yeah, your potency. Now we're skanking sweet. Rock you off your feet. You ignite my life. You're my paradise. You set my soul on fire.
I sing a melody to take me home.
You are my only desire. spreading round like wildfire. Music takes me to another zone. Let the music take you higher and higher and higher and higher. Yeah.
Your first album made of singles you made, or I mean, when's your next album, or the first one will be?
So, well, yeah. So I don't have an album out or an EP as yet. So the Island Girl is just a promotional tool, you know, for like DJs and stuff like that to get to know Kalia as a package. But an actual EP, I would be looking at 2022. So next year, we're currently working on something to put out then.
Can you give us a hunch what it will be? Do you have an idea?
I know there's going to be some collaborations.
Oh, nice.
There's going to be good music and positive vibes. That's all I can say.
And big eminent names, I guess, because all the artists you collaborated with Stonebwoy, Dry Island, Busy Signal, those are all big names in the industry. So how do you manage to get them all working with
How
you?
do I say again?
How do you manage to get them all in one? To manage to get working with them? I mean, they're really hard to catch.
So yeah, so I've been very lucky actually. I've been very blessed that majority of these collaborations have been, you know, they've been in the early stages of working. So with Busy Signal, Tipper and Stonebwoy, I met them and we recorded the music before I had put out any music with K-Licious. So at this point, I'm just like a brand new artist to them. And I'm in the studio and they've come to work with Tony Kelly, and I've just been there and we decided to just build a vibe together. So always incredibly grateful, because being brand new on the scene, you know, most artists would probably wait until you have at least a couple songs out to see, you know, how you go and that kind of thing. But they really believed in the vibe and the energy to, you know, say, all right, we could do a song together, and it all worked out. And so that's how most of the collaborations happen. So I've been just blessed, been blessed.
Indeed. And how does the crowd respond to your music and what you do? Are you getting a lot of support through the social media?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks to the internet, you know, I'm able to reach people around all over the world without moving much. So people love it, especially in places like Latin America, in Europe, in Africa. So it's amazing to get great response, because although I love music and I love to create music, it's the fans and it's the DJs and it's the radio and that keeps you going. Because when people are coming back to you telling you, you know, I listened to Easy and I listened to it before I went to a job interview just to give me motivation. And when I got there, I got the job. You know, people message me these kind of stories. So it's really, it's heartwarming, and it just gives me that push to just continue and carry on.
Yeah, carry on. Keep up the good work. That's really great.
Yeah.
Tell me, in the Jamaica, what's the music some kind of escape from the poverty? Because the poverty was present, especially in the 70s and 80s, through music. And is that still the case on the island? Is one of the main sources of tourism and everything comes from the music and the artists that Jamaica has?
Yeah, definitely. I would say music is Jamaica's biggest export. And our culture as well is an export, apart from people coming here for tourism and the food and the beaches. You know, the music transcends worldwide and generations as well. So it's definitely something that's highly in our culture, and I would say not only in Jamaica but everywhere, people use music as an escape from issues. So that's why in times like these, when so many people are going through it, so many people have lost their jobs, you know, they're not able to work because of the pandemic and stuff. This is the time where like musicians are most important, because music is life, music is healing. So definitely it's something that's embedded in Jamaican culture.
Helps us keep sane.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me, and not just connecting the island with the herb and whatnot, but the music and
Yeah.
that the community there, and what your mother says now when you see what you're growing into and your fame and everything. I mean, you get a lot of support from her. I heard that, but how does
Yes.
how her personality develops with your career?
So I come from a very academic family. So everybody in my family, they're either teachers, nurses, doctors, accountants. All of my uncles and aunties have gone down that route. So growing up, my mom, she's always said to me, you should have a plan B, music, just in case, just in case. But she's always been supportive, even though she said that to me, but I've just been like, I don't see why I should go to university to study a subject I don't enjoy. I don't know what I would study anyways. And but now she doesn't tell me to have a plan B anymore.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
that's that's how mothers do. I know that.
Yes.
And how does your career affect your private life? Uh, are you already feeling the burdens of being a celebrity? Or do you already feel as a celebrity in Jamaica?
I would say the good thing about Jamaica is our celebrity culture isn't like the US or the UK, where like we have paparazzi and all that kind of stuff. People who are quite popular here, they can pretty much go about their day without. You get people that want pictures and stuff, but it's not as crazy where you can't like exit your house without being free. So that's another laid back thing about Jamaica. We're pretty relaxed and in that way. I wouldn't say I'm a celebrity as yet, but I do get noticed out and about. So it just means that I have to present myself when I go to the shops. I can't go to the shops in pajamas anymore.
Yeah, yeah, everybody's looking at.
But for the most part, I think it's not as bad being an artist or a celebrity in Jamaica as opposed to being big in a different country, because yeah, we're really laid back here about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. According to your story, it seemed easy for you to approach big names, and you will always have a easy way to collaborations and access. Is it getting even easier now you're starting to build up your career and many have heard your songs and the quality of the music you make?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, before it was, as I said, the early days was just based on just me being blessed and being at the right place at the right time. But I'd say nowadays, so with the iOctane song, it was still quite early, but it would have been about 2 years after I started releasing music, and we approached iOctane to do the collaboration, and he's like, yeah, 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 of course. And I would say that was off the back of him hearing Kalia's music before and saying, she's a good artist. And even with this Dre collaboration as well, I never actually had met Dre until the day of the video shoot. But Tony contacted him to say, I have a song, want you to do with Kalia, and he was there. So yeah, definitely is getting, I would say, easier to work with people because my catalog is building and people see the quality, people see the consistency as well. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I wish you very, very blissful career and keep up the good work. You are going the right way, definitely. And I'm really happy and
Thank you.
for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Give thanks.
Take care.
Blessings. Bye bye.
Reggae Rastia Radio.